Just before I was going to take it out. I knew I was risking it with that one. Hey everyone, Dave from BC Bushcraft, and welcome to another video. I haven't been out to do a solo overnight for quite some time. Super stoked to be out here, and it's like such a gorgeous day today. I didn't check in earlier because I just wanted to film and kind of just enjoy the woods and, you know, start my shelter and, you know, try a little bit of a different way of filming today. So if you like it, you know, give me a thumbs up and everything like that. So I'm really going to put some effort into getting some good video and some good footage this time around. If you can hear the airplane, sorry. Before I kick off the video officially, I want to give a shout out to a bunch of guys that are super cool and having a really awesome channel. It's called Bushcraft Heroes. It's Matt, Bo, and Ruben. I think they're the three main people, but there's a few other guys, a few other Bushcraft minions running around on that channel. But they have really awesome content. They built a Bushcraft treehouse. They've done a whole ton of building things, and you know, it's what they've done is really awesome. I think it's very impressive. Their filming is very good. Their editing is very good. It's just a really enjoyable channel to watch. It's fun to watch. It's funny, and they're just a good group of guys, Canadian guys from Edmonton, I believe. And you know, their videos are awesome. So go check them out. So the plan for the solo overnight, doing a minimal bushcraft trip really. So I plan to build a survival shelter out of all natural materials. I only brought a blanket with me. I didn't bring anything else for as far as you know, sleeping bag or tarps or things like that. So I do have some warmth with a blanket. I brought food and stuff like that with me this time. I didn't feel like struggling. I kind of had a tiresome work week, so I don't feel like just starving all weekend. So I brought some food to cook up for the trip, and you'll see that in a bit. It's about 1:30, and I've already erected my half teepee as part of my survival shelter. I'm just gonna continue building, enjoy the fire a little bit, get rid of some mosquitoes, and drink some coffee and chill. Coffee and chill. Hot. So now I got a bit of a horizontal weave going on, and I'm just gonna do some more vertical weaves with smaller branches so I can start just piling stuff on here, and I'll finish it off with like a layer of ferns is what I'm thinking for this shelter. There are so many freaking sword ferns around here, it's unbelievable. So I could probably even just start piling ferns on right now, but there's so many twigs and sticks around here. I'm just gonna do another vertical layer and then just slap on a bunch of ferns, and that's gonna be my shelter for today, or tonight rather. Well, there we go. I'm pretty happy with that for now. I'm just gonna make a simple bed for me to lie on because I don't have an air because I don't have an air mattress, and all I'm gonna be doing is kind of just gathering up a bunch of duff and just twigs and stuff like that along the ground. I'm gonna put a few boughs down, some like solid pieces of wood, and then I'm gonna just dump a whole bunch of debris on it, and that's gonna be my bed for tonight. Well, let's test it out. Feels like a bunch of sticks. That's what it feels like. Ah, it's not too bad. You know, it actually gives it some spring, the twigs, but a few of them are jabbing me in the back. The main reason for this bed, though, is to keep me insulated from the ground. The twigs will kind of give me a bit of insulation. The poles beneath it will keep me off of the cold ground. The last time I did my solo survival video, the ground totally sucked the heat out of me, even though I had a layer of boughs, like just, you know, needles and stuff like that. It made me really cold at night, so I'm trying to avoid that this time by using this method instead. You notice that I didn't put anything where my feet are. I don't really need to have, I'll keep my boots on in this shelter. I got my head elevated as well and piled more twigs where my head and my body are going to be laying. Put a layer of moss might make the twigs a little more comfy. And I'll just put it where my head and my body are. Well, there you go. I'm pretty happy with the shelter that I've made. It's about 4 o'clock right now. I got the bed done. I got the main frame of the shelter. This is called a half teepee that I built today. I wanted to do something that was freestanding, and I thought the half teepee design would be a good one for me to choose. I don't know if you guys can see me. And yeah, so I chose the half teepee design. Compared to last video, I wanted to do an open face shelter. I wanted to be able to be heated by my fire better tonight. So that's why I went with this design here. There's so many ferns around here. If you guys, some of you are going to be like, you cut so many ferns down. There's like a billion around here. So I didn't kill any ferns. You can't kill ferns by just chopping them off. They're like a rhizome. They'll sprout up fiddleheads in the spring, regardless of whether you take off all their leaves or not. They will survive. So right now, I have no water left. I need to go down to the river, get some water, and I want to make some food, you know, have a bit of camp life. I might do some firewood collection. If you also noticed, I did not use my axe at all in this shelter build. What is up with that? I think that's the first time I've ever done that. I really wanted to try to just use my knife and the saw, but I also wanted to try to do things more efficiently as far as calorie-wise this trip. I wanted to kind of grab things that were lying around, put it to use, and build my shelter that way instead of going around like felling perfect straight trees all the time and things like that. This area here has a reasonable amount of blow down trees, lots of resources to build a shelter with here. So I just went and grabbed most of the things that I used to build the teepee I grabbed off of the floor. I didn't take down one dead standing tree. I found a few of them lying down that you saw me grab earlier. So that's a change for me. I wanted to try to be better in that way for myself. I wanted to improve upon the way that I did things and to be more efficient basically, and not just tire myself out. You got to learn from doing things, and I am trying to learn from my previous video. So I just wanted to explain why the location of my survival shelter build is a really good location. It's a super flat, level ground. I was hiking around for about an hour or two just looking for a suitable spot. This area is very ferny. It's very just like, I don't know how to describe it. Lots of pockets and swells and just low-lying areas. So I found it a struggle to find a flat piece of ground. And I saw this little bit of a clearing, like, you know, kind of off in the distance. And I was like, okay, I'll work my way towards that. And this is a dried up creek bed. So I'm kind of on the bank of the dried up creek bed, and it's dead flat, which is one awesome thing. It's a really good idea for obvious reasons to have dead flat ground. Also, the soil itself, wipe away just a little bit of duff and debris and things like that. It's right to sand, right to rocks. It's like a really awesome place for a fire. So I feel comfortable today to do more of a longer fire, because I don't have to worry about burning roots and burning duff and things like that. So it's a really good safe fire site. Also, the dry creek bed has a million rocks in it. There's ferns everywhere for shelter building. There's lots of blown over trees. The resources here are really good. It's just a little bit further away from the river than I wanted it to be, but you know, this site is just perfect, absolutely perfect in every other respect. I don't feel much wind here. It's, mind you, it wasn't really windy today, but those are some of the reasons why I decided to put my shelter here. This is a nice dense piece of wood that I want to use for fire, and it's a little bit too heavy for me to drag the whole thing to camp, so I'm going to finally bust out my axe and just chop it in half so I can manage it. Supposed to come on the other side, but you guys won't be able to see it, so I won't. One more time. Right up my nether regions. It's 6 o'clock right now, so I'm just starting to lose my light a little bit. I'm a little bit darker because I'm underneath a bunch of cedars and stuff, which is also good rain cover and stuff, but it shouldn't rain. The point what I was gonna say is that I've had this fire going since I made my coffee, and all I've been doing is something called idling the fire. Native Survival has a video on it, and all you do is just keep your fire smoldering very low, slowly just, you know, moving a few twigs closer together, just keeping the heat concentrated, and then, you know, you can pretty much have this going almost all day, and then when you're ready for nighttime and you're ready to do some cooking, you can just throw some twigs or whatever you have on there and get it going like right away. So I'm about to cook up a little bit of a ramen And then I'm doing some steak, maybe some lentils as well for my dinner. Playing chance. I was gonna make a pot hanger, but I can't really jam something into the ground. It's very just rocky and you know, it's got that, even when I was thinking about doing a fire reflector, and I don't think I'm gonna be doing it because I don't think I can stake anything in. It's just right to like rocky soil. Think of a beach type of thing, you know? One of my favorite go-tos. Mm. So you guys might have noticed that I got a new knife. This is real steel, Bushcraft Plus. It's it's the same metal that's in the Mora Garberg. It's 14C28N. I will never remember that. But I wanted to get something that was, you know, different, a little bit off the mainstream. The best way to describe it is, you know, if a Mora Garberg and an SE4 had a kid, you would get this thing. It's the thickness of an SE, so it's like 4.5 mil. It's got a very high Scandi grind. If you get the Scandinavian version of it, you can get a full flat grind of this knife too. G10 handles that are removable, which is pretty cool. Sheath is okay. It's got a Kydex insert, so if you wanted to modify it, you could, but it's a nylon sheath, kind of tactical, so if you're into that stuff. But, you know, I've been testing it out today. This is my first time out in the woods with it, and there's some things that I would change, and there's some things that I really, really do like about it. You know, it's a stainless steel knife. I wanted to get a durable stainless steel knife because the Vancouver Island is just a very wet environment. I'm kind of tired of maintaining a lot of my bushcraft knives, so I wanted a knife that I didn't have to maintain, and I didn't really want to go for the Mora Garberg. I just have Moras. I know that I wanted to get something different. I wanted to try something new, and I went for this guy here. I'll put a link down below if you guys are interested to check this knife out. Let's cook the steak before it gets too dark here, hey? We don't have to worry about the lentils. I can do that off camera. No one cares about lentils. Lentils are super high in calories and protein though, and they also have some other vitamins and minerals. They're kind of like a superfood, so they're quite good to have when you're out burning a lot of calories and stuff. Some butter in there. get a better shot of it. Salt it up, pepper it up. Yeah, flipped it a bit early, whatever. Alright. Good enough for me. Looks pretty good. As you can tell, I'm losing my light, but it just looks like it on camera. Oh, this will be really good. A little bit pink in the center. That's so tasty. After a hard days of work, much needed. Okay. Well, I'm gonna dig in here. Shut you guys off. I'm gonna try to do a different type of fire lay tonight. I watched a video. I think Survival Russia did this. It's called the Siberian fire lay. So I'm gonna be using just whole logs. I'm not gonna go and split up a bunch of firewood and try to conserve my energy. I've got a pile of just kind of logs that I found. I'll probably find some more. I can't find like something that's really solid, that's big, that I can manage without spending a ton of energy and a ton of time chopping something up. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight for my fire to try to keep me warm inside this shelter. I also have a space in the back of the shelter for putting hot rocks. There's tons of rocks down here in the riverbed. So I'm going to take a few of them, and if I do get cold, I can heat those rocks up, put them at the back of my shelter behind me, and get some heat radiating from me that way too. Okay, so for my fire lay, I have main log here that runs all the way down there into nothing. And then I have like 5 logs here that run down that way. And I'm going to build the fire up against the main log. And then I'm just going to get it going, and these guys should start burning. So try to get it going right now. So this is my fire plan for tonight. Should try to feed these 5-6 logs into the fire to keep me somewhat warm in my shelter. And I have spare firewood piled elsewhere. This is Survival Rush's tip. Well, there you go. There's a nighttime shot of my fire lay in action. It's just kind of picking up steam. I'm about to pretty much go to bed soon. And we'll see how this fire lay goes. It's not a roaring fire, I would say. But I definitely think that it conserves a lot of fuel. So it will keep me warm for sure at night. There you go. There's the teepee all set up, all ready for me to try and sleep in. So I'll probably check in with you guys in the morning. Morning. Oh, that's nice. I actually slept fairly well last night. I probably fell asleep just before midnight or something like that, and I slept in 2 hour increments all the way till 8:30. So, you know, every 2 hours or so, I'd have to stoke the fire. I'd get cold, and the fire lay worked out really well. It wasn't never got roaring, but it made my fuel last all night, and it was very conservative way of having a fire at nighttime for sure. So it went really well. Surprisingly, I'm surprised that I slept that well, and that bed wasn't too bad at all to sleep on. It was a lot warmer, and the twigs just gave it a bit of cushion. And once I was lying on it for a while, all those twigs kind of settled, and that was that. Fell asleep almost right away. So if you like the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I plan to be doing a lot more of these trips, especially since the fire ban has been lifted. I hope to get, a handful of them in before winter comes. And even when winter does come, I want to do some winter overnights as well. So I like to mix it up between bushcraft and survival things. So we'll see how things are and see how I feel. And regardless, I'm going to be pushing out some more content. 1, 2, 3. Whoop. Come on. That looks so weird. All the bacon grease. Good for your veins, right? Like I said, I'm not starving this trip. Get my oats on. This place is wild sometimes with the noises of the birds. Sounds so jungle-like. Well, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. This is the last video that I'm going to be able to shoot just because my battery is dying. Let me know how you found the video. I put a lot of effort into making this one look as good as I could. And you know what? The shelter was really awesome. I would probably say this is one of the best shelter builds that I've done. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. And until the next adventure, I hope you guys have a great day.